You stopped answering their calls, stopped showing up for holidays, stopped pretending everything was fine, and people called you selfish, cold, ungrateful. They said family is family, that you owe them. That blood is thicker than water. But what they don't understand is this. You didn't cut your family off because it was easy. You did it because staying was killing you. Because sometimes the most dangerous place for you is the place you're supposed to call home. And walking away wasn't cruelty. It was survival. This isn't about a fight that got out of hand. This isn't about being dramatic or holding grudges. This is about people who made the hardest decision of their lives, who chose their sanity over their bloodline, who walked away from the people who were supposed to love them because that love came with too much damage. And the world doesn't understand. Because we're taught that family is sacred, that you forgive family, that you stay no matter what. That leaving makes you the bad guy. But what if staying makes you disappear? What if the cost of connection is your entire sense of self? What if the family you were born into is the one thing standing between you and healing? Today we're exploring the psychology of people who cut their family off. And if you've ever had to choose between your family and your peace, this is for you. Let's start with what everyone says. But they're your family. You only get one mother. They did their best. You'll regret this when they're gone. You're throwing away your whole family over nothing. Over nothing. As if years of hurt is nothing. As if emotional abuse is nothing. As if being made to feel worthless in the place you're supposed to feel safe is nothing. As if sacrificing your mental health to keep the peace is nothing. The judgment comes from everywhere. From family members who stayed. From friends who can't imagine cutting off their own families. From a culture that treats family loyalty as the highest virtue, regardless of what that family actually did to you. And the cruelest part? They make you defend your decision. Make you prove the abuse was bad enough. Make you justify your boundary as if you need permission to protect yourself. As if you need their approval to choose your own well-being. But here's the truth they'll never admit. Most people who judge you for leaving have never had to choose between belonging and survival. They're judging from safety. So what actually leads someone to cut off their family? Because this isn't impulsive. This isn't one bad fight. This is the result of years, sometimes decades, of trying everything else first. It starts with patterns. Patterns of behavior that never change no matter how many times you address them. The parent who criticizes everything you do. The sibling who undermines you. The family system that scapegoats you, gaslights you, makes you the problem while protecting the person causing harm. You try talking about it. They deny it. You try setting boundaries. They violate them. You try limiting contact. They guilt you back in. You try family therapy. They refuse or sabotage it. You try accepting them as they are, and it destroys you. And then there's the abuse. Sometimes overt. Physical violence. Sexual abuse. Addiction and chaos. Sometimes covert. Emotional manipulation. Conditional love. Constant criticism disguised as concern. Being told you're too sensitive when you react to being hurt. You don't cut family off because you want to. You do it because every other option has failed. Because you finally realize that the relationship is costing you more than it's giving you. That you're pouring into a void that will never be filled. That staying connected means staying sick. And one day you understand. The only way to heal is to leave. The only way to find yourself is to step away from the people who convinced you that you were the problem. But even after you make the decision, there's a war inside you. Because cutting off family isn't clean. It's not like ending a friendship. It's severing a connection that's wired into your identity. Part of you knows it's right. Knows you're safer without them. Knows your mental health has improved since you left. Knows you can finally breathe. But another part carries the guilt. The voice that says you're a bad person. That you abandoned them. That maybe you're overreacting. That maybe if you just tried harder, loved them better, communicated more clearly, it would have worked. You mourn the family you wish you had. The parents you deserved. The siblings who should have been your allies. The holidays that should have been warm instead of traumatic. You're not just grieving the relationship you lost. You're grieving the relationship you never had. And there's the loneliness. Because even when family is toxic, there's still family. There's still the people who knew you as a child, who share your history, who connect you to your past. And walking away means walking away from all of that. Means building a life without that foundation. So you carry both. The relief and the grief. The freedom and the guilt. The certainty that you made the right choice and the doubt that never fully leaves. And there are patterns in the families people cut off. Not every toxic family looks the same, but there are recognizable types. There's the narcissistic family. Everything revolves around one person's needs. Your role is to make them look good, feel good, be their emotional support. And when you stop playing that role, you become the enemy. They can't see you as a separate person with your own needs. You're an extension of them. And when you leave, they either smear you to everyone or pretend you never existed. There's the enmeshed family. No volunteers, no privacy, no space to be yourself. Everything is everyone's business. Differentiation is seen as betrayal. If you're not constantly available, constantly involved, you're accused of not caring. Your life isn't your own, and leaving feels like treason. There's the abusive family, where violence, addiction, or chaos ruled, where you spent your childhood in survival mode, where you were parentified, scapegoated, or neglected. And now, as an adult, they want you to pretend none of it happened. Want you to show up for holidays and act like everything's normal. And you can't, because your body still remembers what your mind is trying to forget. And there's the family that's not overtly abusive, but deeply invalidating. They dismiss your feelings, minimize your experiences, tell you you're too sensitive, too emotional, too much. They don't hit you, but they make you feel like you're crazy. And that's its own kind of damage. Whatever the type, the result is the same. You can't be yourself and be in relationship with them. So you have to choose. And after you cut them off, there's the aftermath. The reality of living without family in a world that revolves around family. There are the holidays. Everyone else going home. Everyone else posting family photos. And you're alone, or with chosen family. And it's better than being with your family of origin. But it still hurts. There are the questions. Will you be seeing your parents for Thanksgiving? Are your siblings coming to visit? And you have to decide how much to explain, whether to lie, whether to say the truth, and watch people's faces change when they realize you're the person who cut off their family. There's the guilt that comes in waves, especially when they reach out. The birthday text, the I miss you message, the family member who says your mom is crying, and you have to hold your boundary even when it feels like you're being cruel, even when everything in you wants to cave. And there's the grief that ambushes you at random moments, when you accomplish something and have no one to tell, when you need advice and realize you can't call, when you see other people with their parents and feel the hole where that relationship should have been. But there's also something else. There's peace, quiet, the absence of chaos, the ability to make decisions without their voices in your head, the slow rebuilding of your sense of self, the realization that you're actually okay, maybe better than okay, maybe thriving. So let's talk about the guilt, because the guilt will tell you lies. It will tell you that you're a bad person, that you should give them another chance, that you're being unforgiving, that they're old now or sick now and you should let it go. But here's what guilt won't tell you, that you already gave them chances, hundreds of chances, that forgiveness doesn't require a relationship, that you can wish them well from a distance, that their age or illness doesn't erase what they did. Guilt won't tell you that some families are simply not safe, that some people are incapable of the kind of relationship you need, that you're not responsible for fixing them, healing them, or absorbing their dysfunction. Guilt won't tell you that you matter too, that your mental health matters, that your peace matters, that you don't owe anyone access to you, even if they gave birth to you. And guilt definitely won't tell you this, that the people who are angry at you for leaving are often the people who benefited from you staying, the ones who needed you to keep playing your role, the ones whose own denial is threatened by your truth. You don't owe them your suffering. You don't owe them your silence. You don't owe them a relationship that destroys you. And people always ask, can you ever go back? Can families reconcile after this? Sometimes, but not often, because real reconciliation requires something most toxic families can't give: accountability. It requires them to acknowledge the harm, to genuinely apologize, to demonstrate sustained change over time, to respect your boundaries even when they don't like them. Many toxic families struggle to do this even when they genuinely believe they want to. They want you back on their terms, want you to forgive and forget without them doing the work of change, want reconciliation without accountability, want relationship without addressing what broke it in the first place. And that's not reconciliation. That's you going back into the same dynamic that hurt you. That's them getting what they want while you sacrifice what you need. That's the cycle repeating. Real reconciliation means the relationship fundamentally changes. Means they see you as an autonomous adult with valid feelings and reasonable boundaries. Means the patterns that caused the cutoff have genuinely shifted. And that's rare. Not impossible, but rare. So if reconciliation doesn't happen, that's not your failure. That's not proof that you didn't try hard enough or love them enough. That's proof that they weren't willing or able to do what reconciliation requires. And you're allowed to let that be okay. You're allowed to build a life without them. You're allowed to stop waiting for them to become who you need them to be. Here's what you need to know. Family is not sacred just because it's biological. Blood doesn't make someone safe. Shared DNA doesn't obligate you to relationship. The idea that loyalty should exist without safety is what keeps dysfunctional systems intact. Real family is the people who see you, who respect you, who don't require you to betray yourself to earn their love. Real family can be biological, but it can also be chosen, built, found. And cutting off your biological family doesn't make you alone. It makes you available. Available for relationships that are healthy. For people who add to your life instead of draining it. For connections based on mutual respect instead of obligation. You're not being selfish by choosing yourself. You're being wise. You're honoring the truth that you can't heal in the environment that made you sick. You're recognizing that some soil is so toxic that nothing can grow there. And you're brave enough to transplant yourself somewhere you might actually thrive. The people who stayed in their families will never understand this. And that's okay. They don't have to. You're not making this choice for them. You're making it for you. And years from now, when you've built a life that feels like yours, when you've found your people, when you've healed parts of yourself you didn't even know were broken, you'll know it was worth it. Not because cutting off family is easy, but because staying would have cost you yourself. And you're worth more than that.